Hello my brilliant home buyers and sellers, this is Farial, and in today's market update video we are going to talk about the numbers for the month of July for the Greater Toronto area. We're also going to touch on the very controversial topic right now, which is immigration and how is it impacting our housing market, and at the end we are going to review our housing market for the second quarter of 2023. So guys, let's get right into it. First, let's take a look at the numbers. After the second interest rate hike on July 12th, we definitely saw the market slow down. I personally witnessed there were few offers on the table, many motivated sellers, and several price reductions on different types of properties all across the GTA. When it comes to sales year over year, they went up by 7.8% to 5,250 recorded in the month of July. However, month over month, they went down by almost 30%. That is a really big jump. We also saw more properties being listed on the market this time of the year, which increased our new listings year over year by 11.5%. However, month over month, they were down by 13%. Average prices in the GTA are up year over year by 4.2%. And right now we're sitting at 1,118,374 to be exact. Now month over month they were down by 5.39%, which was expected of course when the second time interest rates went up. Now when it comes to months of inventory, right now in the Greater Toronto area we're sitting just at 2 months. For those who don't know what that means, let's say if there's no more houses come to the market for sale, we only have about 2 months of inventory before we run out. Now let's talk about the immigration and what the numbers are looking like and how is it impacting our housing market.
So first, let's take a look at the immigration numbers, right? So that's where we're going to start from. We saw in 2022, it's over 431. Then it increased to 447,000 in 2023. 2024, the target is 451,000. And if you look at 2025, our target is to meet 550,000. So all of this, of course, it's planned to tackle the fact that our population is aging and we need a lot more people in the workforce, and that's the reason why we're increasing the numbers. But however, it comes at a cost, right? So all these numbers going up is definitely impacting our housing market because population is growing at such a fast pace that our housing market cannot keep up with it, and we're just not producing housing at the same level to keep it up. So let's take a look at this article by BNN Bloomberg that talks about Canada sticks with immigration target despite housing crunch. So over here, I would like to point out that our Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says that they will not lower its immigration targets despite there's a lot of criticism going on about this drastic population growth. And in one of the first interviews by our immigration minister, Mark Miller, which we should definitely pay attention to what he's saying, is that the government will either have to keep or raise its annual targets for permanent residents of about 500,000. And that's because the diminishing number of working age population, as I was talking about earlier. You can see clearly in this chart that the number of net international migrants per unit of housing construction started. So it's just not keeping up. As we can clearly see, our population is growing very, very fast and our housing is not. Another article I wanted to point out and bring it to your attention is Canada's immigration boom could come at a cost, as I was talking about. So based on the TD report, it talks about the housing shortfall. What it says that it estimates that the housing shortfall could reach 500,000 units in just 2 years. And government policies meant to speed up the construction process are unlikely to fill the gap. And it also talks about that even if we revert the population growth to the long-term average, Canada will still have a housing shortage of about 150,000 units. So no matter what we do, we are going to face housing shortages in coming years. And we're already facing that, of course. So that also brought to my mind, let's take a look at what is our construction industry doing and what's happening in that area. So in Canada right now, there's another article by Stories that talks about that Canada just alone in July lost 45,000 construction jobs, okay? This is very alarming because if you look at Canadian construction industry, we are definitely facing severe labor shortages. So that means that we do not have enough people or enough labor to even start building more housing at the moment. So it says over here, since January 2023, employment in construction decreased by 71,000, offsetting cumulative increases of 65,000 from September to January, says Stats Canada. And most of those lost in construction labor is in British Columbia, Quebec, and Ontario, three of the provinces where most of the population growth is happening at the moment. So let's take a look at a threat to productivity. How is that going to affect our production of housing, right? I mean, this is pretty obvious, of course. If you don't have enough labor, we cannot build houses that fast. The talks about with no less than 80,000 vacancies in the industry, the vacancy rate is at record high and a full percentage point above the national average. So construction industry is definitely facing huge decline in their labor right now. How is our Canadian government going to deal with this situation of shortage in construction labor? They are basically starting a program that's called Federal Express Entry System that is designed specifically for people who work in skilled trades. So what they're going to do is that anyone who works in skilled trades such as carpenter, plumber, electricians, any of those people in those professions will be granted an express entry to Canada so we can increase the labor force in our construction industry. I mean, only time can tell how this will be resolved and how this will play out. And of course, next coming years, we will see. But at the moment, we are definitely facing extreme labor shortages.
So our population is growing at a very fast pace, making it really hard to keep up with the demand in our housing market. On top of that, we have extreme labor shortages in our construction industry. What do you think about this whole situation? Let me know in the comments. Let's now review our second quarter of the year. I have created a chart for you to show you our sales, new listings, and average prices and how our housing market performed in the last 3 months. So guys, let's take a look. So in front of me, let's take a look at the chart that I've created for you guys. In front of me is the Greater Toronto Area second quarter from April to June, how the sales were, the new listings, and average prices. So we know that in April and May, there was no interest rate hike. So we definitely saw the impact of that. The sales actually went higher. And we also saw an increase. A lot of new listings came to the market as well. And of course, the price went up as well. So definitely in April and May, we saw tons of activity. We saw multiple offers coming back. Bidding wars were again in the picture. And because of so much active market and there were so many buyers out there and we saw an influx of demand coming in, there was an interest rate hike in June. So that definitely brought the sales down to 7,481 from 9,000. However, interesting enough, we didn't see a big difference in our new listings. They actually went up from 15,194 to 15,865. However, we did see the average price go down, but not by that much. We saw about just over 1% decline in our average prices. However, we did see when the interest rate did go up in July, from June to July, the average prices dropped by over 5%. But looking at the first quarter, comparing it to the second quarter, of course, second quarter performed a lot better than the first quarter. We saw everything in terms of sales, new listings, and average prices go up. I hope you find this information useful. If you like it, give it a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe to my channel so you do not miss out any other future videos like this one. And if you have any questions about the real estate market or if you want to know what the buying and selling process looks like in the Greater Toronto Area, you can simply book a consultation call with me. The link is in the description below. Until next time, take care of yourself and remember to be kind to yourself and others.